In a blockbuster trade on the last day on the NBA trade deadline, Ben Simmons finally left Philadelphia after refusing to play for the Sixers since their last season's exit in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks. Simmons, alongside Seth Curry and Andre Drummond in a package that includes 2 future draft picks, was sent to Brooklyn in exchange for former MVP James Harden and Paul Millsap. This trade put an end to a saga that lasted more than 6 months and finally opens a new chapter for both the Sixers and Ben Simmons. The Sixers managed to get rid of a player who refused to play for the team and was taking a huge part of the salary cap. Simmons finally got his prayers answered and was sent out of Philly and will have a chance to play on a contender team right away. But let's take a look back and see how things turned to this point. What made Simmons be so stubborn to refuse to play? A decision that cost him more than $20 million so far. If you want to find out, keep watching and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. The Philadelphia 76ers believe that trusting the process will finally pay off last year. That process lasted for almost a decade. Numerous lottery picks, some of them good, some not, got the Sixers to a point when they finally became a playoff team, led by the new coach Doc Rivers. The Sixers managed to finish as the top seed in the Eastern Conference last season. The Sixers easily got over the Washington Wizards in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, and it seemed like they would have an easier job against the Atlanta Hawks. Surprisingly for many, the team did not have any playoff experience, managed to shock the Sixers in 7 games. The Sixers lost the first game at home, but managed to win the next 2, and it seemed like they will finish the job easily against Trae Young and company. But the Hawks didn't give up, and went on to win the next 2 and take a 3-2 lead that put them 1-1 away from winning the series with Game 6 taking place in Atlanta. The Sixers managed to survive that one winning 104-99, and all was set for a decisive showdown in Philly. But things didn't go as planned. The Hawks played tough, didn't back down, and the Sixers lost 103-96. It was the 4th straight Game 7 loss for Doc Rivers, who got a reputation for being a choker as a coach. Still, the Sixer fans and NBA analysts did not point at him as the reason for the Sixers' collapse. It was Ben Simmons instead. Simmons and his lack of confidence in his shooting abilities is what caused the Sixers the early playoff exit. Simmons shot only 34%, 25 for 73 from the free throw line during the playoffs, missing 27 of those in a 7-game series against the Hawks. Fairly enough, that would be a bad percentage even for a center. Not even Shaquille O'Neal or Ben Wallace shot that bad from the stripe in the playoffs. What made Simmons' game even more disappointing was that in 5 of those 7 games against the Hawks, he didn't take a single shot in the 4th quarter, including the last 4 games of the series. Is that acceptable from a 3-time All-Star point guard on a $169 million contract? Rivers and the best player on the Sixers roster, Joel Embiid, didn't buy that well. Simmons' lack of confidence was especially noticed in the breaking moments of Game 7. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the game, Simmons backed his way to the basket, spun around Danilo Gallinari for the easy look at the basket, and instead of making a layup, or maybe even dunking the ball, he decided to pass the ball. He passed a chance to tie the game at the moment. Embiid, who had an injury-prone season and still managed to finish second in the MVP vote, didn't hide his disappointment in his teammate. Coach Rivers had no answer when asked after Game 7 if Simmons could play his current position for a championship caliber team in today's NBA. Daryl Morey, the Sixers president of basketball operations, also avoided answering if he was going to trade Simmons in the offseason. The Sixers started their lengthy rebuild back in 2013 and went through a 10-win season and 26 and 28 games losing streaks. Those were devastating seasons for the Sixers fans, but the team management knew that the road to a victory is a marathon, not a race. The Sixers had numerous lottery picks in the last 8 years, with Embiid and Simmons as well as Markelle Fultz being drafted as number 1. From all those prospects going through Philly, the team management decided to stick with these 2, believing that Embiid and Simmons will take the team to the championship. But that obviously wasn't the case and will not be. Following the playoff exit to the Hawks, Ben Simmons didn't hide his disappointment with the treatment he got and clearly stated that he's not going to play for the Sixers ever again. He demanded a trade, and despite the fact that there was a lot of teams interested, the Sixers decided to wait and see what will happen. The Sixers front office tried multiple times to arrange a meeting with their player, but Simmons kept refusing any contact with the team. As the training camp approached, the tension grew and Simmons was advised to show up to the camp in order not to be fined financially. In October, Simmons finally ended his lengthy holdout and returned to the Sixers, but the drama surrounding the disgruntled point guard has only intensified since then. Despite showing up for training camp, Simmons didn't get along with the rest of the team. He refused to participate in a defensive drill during practice, so head coach Doc Rivers kicked him out of the building. The Sixers later suspended Simmons for the season opener against the Pelicans for conduct too detrimental to the team. The team hoped that they will negotiate a solution with Simmons, counting on the fact that the 24-year-old will not leave all those paychecks on the table. But Simmons did exactly that. He didn't care for the money. He just wanted to be out of Philadelphia no matter what. Sixers fans were wondering how long the franchise will hold its ground against Simmons and continue to play without him. Apparently, the team decided to wait as long as it takes for its starting point guard to return to the sidelines, but that day never came. So as the Sixers saw that they definitely could not count on Simmons, they decided to hit the trade market and find a suitor. That wasn't a hard task since half of the league wanted to land Simmons. The Sixers could even choose where to deal him. Since 3-time scoring James Harden expressed his unhappiness in Brooklyn, the rumors heated up in there. On the last day before the trade deadline, Simmons was finally set free. So if we try to assess who won the trade, it is quite obvious that it is a win-win situation for everybody, especially for Simmons. First, he finally got out of Philly and can play basketball. He's going to a team that was considered a top favorite to win the Eastern Conference this year. But as Kevin Durant has missed more than 10 games and Kyrie Irving is allowed to play only in road games, the Brooklyn Nets have fallen from the top of the conference to the bottom of the playoff picture. The arrival of Ben Simmons will definitely move things in the right direction for the Nets. Simmons has a lot to prove and the spotlight will be on him. Every mistake he makes will be multiplied and now he will not have any excuses. The good thing for him is that scoring will not be demanded from him. With Durant and Irving in the lineup, Simmons will be able to play his game, run the floor to the basket, create for others, and lock in on the defensive end. But Simmons is not the only asset the Nets got from this trade. 4-time rebounding leader Andre Drummond is also going to the Nets and will probably be the starting center. Seth Curry is another piece that can bring high percentage shooting whether he plays as a starter or coming off the bench. For the Sixers, this was also a good deal. They got rid of a player that wasn't willing to contribute and got one of the best scorers in return. James Harden is not having his best season, but he will definitely step up in Philly. With Embiid and Harden, the Sixers have the best offensive duo in the league. The most fun part of all the drama will be if the Nets and the Sixers meet in the playoffs, so Simmons can go against his former team. That would be the best way to prove what he is made of. So, there you have it guys, that's it for today. If you liked my video, please hit the like button as it means so much for my channel. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.